Welcome to You Can't Handle the Truth. My name's Chris, this is James, and tonight we are going to review The Gorge. Very, very simply, it's about two highly trained operatives that become close after being sent to protect a big hole.
He just wanted to talk about the big hole again. That's why,
When an evil emerges, they must work together to survive what lies within. It stars Miles Teller, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Sigourney Weaver.
I forgot she was in it. That's why I sent it to you in the first place, wasn't it? Because
That's why you sent it in the first
I
place.
was watching it, we were talking about it all last week, and it just popped up in the movie. I was like, guess this is the movie.
This is the one.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the visuals first.
Visuals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, where it's shot, the scenes, how it looks.
It was one of those where, like, I didn't know where the movie was heading. I thought they was going to remain on the gorge. And while they was up there, I thought it was pretty decent. But then as soon as can we say what? I don't know what they were.
They call them Hollow Men.
The Hollow Men, and when they're done there, a bit fictiony, but they were good enough, reasonable. It wasn't as like you watch some movies and it's got like a lot of beautiful landscape, and it wasn't a movie like that. It was a bit set in one spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your thoughts? I didn't have much thought of the visuals for this movie, to be honest.
I quite like the visuals. I'm going to just go against everything you said.
I didn't not like them. I just thought they were very, very okay. Like,
yeah, it was simple. The setting was simple, but as I thought, when it was the gorge and on the two bases either side of this big hole, I was like, right, this is the film. Okay, right, set yourself in. And then I was like, I hope something happens, or they're not in this section anymore. And then they weren't in that section anymore. And then I was like, well, I hope they get back to that section, and it's not just about this bit. And then they got back to that section.
it's about them being actually on the gorge.
Yeah, on the gorge, in the gorge, and back on the
Yeah,
gorge.
because they do have a little build up first as well, where you see like there's obviously a company that's doing dodgy dealings is one way to put it.
Scientific experiment.
But like I was the same. You think, is it going to be just set in this location? And it was good, but we needed to see what was in that hole. I think is what you're trying to say. There's no practical effects in the hole though, was there?
There was zero practical
That's
effects.
what I was saying about the visuals a minute ago. They're like it was
maybe the water stuff was practical effects,
maybe,
which was but yeah, no, it was very. But yeah, I didn't mind that. Your favourite part of the film?
My favourite part was literally just when he ziplined over. Honestly, because I was like, I only watched this movie from the cover, and then I saw Sigourney Weaver was in it. I knew the actors, and I thought, right, I know these actors do some good stuff, so let's have a watch of it. So I texted over to you for us to watch. It sets up okay. At first I was like, is this going to be a really terrible movie, or is it going to lead and build up? But then as soon as they got on the gorge, it was like, okay, so this is getting a bit like, you understand what's going on, the characters getting there a bit better. And you can see they get on really well. And then when he zips over, I'm like, is this like the main plot of the film? It's like more of a romance sci-fi. They got to stop the things coming up, or are they getting in that damn hole? Because I didn't have anything to go off, and
he got in both holes.
He got in both holes. So but anyway, just when he went over the zip, I was like, I knew it wasn't going to be static in the film. It wasn't just going to be like in one location. So I knew it was going to be progressive throughout the movie. So I liked that, and I just liked that. When they did go down the hole, do we call it as a gorge?
It's the gorge, yeah. We should
When
call it
when they
by
go
its
down
name.
the gorge, they weren't just down there for a few minutes and it's like, oh, it's over. That like we actually figured out. You got, like we're saying in the films in the previous weeks, where it's like it leaves open to interpretation. That this didn't. It was like this is what
was happening.
Yeah, this is what's
going on.
And I was like, okay. So
I liked the wall with all their different quotes on. The poets and stuff like that. Obviously, how they got the Hollow Man phrase and stuff like that, and I really like that. I wasn't massively interested in the romance part, and when I knew that it was going to be them two, and I thought, oh, is this going to be one of those films?
Did you not think it was very romantic though when they started shooting at each other, and they just put the thing on the head like, yeah, go on, shoot me? It's like Yeah, I know he's a good shot, but like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that stuff because it's a bit of camaraderie, a bit of a I'm a rugby lad. We do stupid stuff like that. That's how you get.
How with 50 cows, you don't. You don't. No, you don't.
No, okay,
I don't
not
think-
quite like that.
I don't know
but,
what,
I mean,
I don't know much about snipers, but that you don't need to miss by much. You know what I mean? It's but yeah.
not after drinking potato vodka.
Oh yeah, the potato vodka. That goes
Yeah,
down
no,
nicely.
I didn't want it to be too romance. I wanted there to be enough romance, like for them to, like for those characters to have a reason to care about each other. But I was really worried when it started that it was going to be all about that.
Yeah, sure.
And I was pleasantly surprised, if I'm honest.
What did you think about the thing I was gonna say and I forgot what it was?
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah,
it's great. As if I don't know what that thing was.
I mean, the romance does keep going throughout the whole thing, because like, even though they're not even meant to talk to each other, and then she starts doing him with the things,
It's my birthday, I'll do whatever I want.
But then it kind of just continues. But then even when he's down there, it's more about them than it is the actual job they're to do. That's what I was gonna say. When the hollow twigs come up for the first time, like, oh, there they are. I thought that was a bit generic-y, like, oh, there they are, and they shoot them down. But like, it did some pan outs and that, and then you could see shooting further up and down the gorge. And I was like, is that just the automated guns, or is there other people on the gorge? But it's just them two.
It's just them two and the automated
Yeah,
guns.
but how long was the gorge?
Well, I imagine it's quite big.
I'm sure, like,
And they
could've
had
just
the-
got a
they
couple
had-
more people.
they
up
had
there.
the towers-
size of the operation.
They had the towers there. Well, that's the whole point. Is they wanted it to be kept quiet.
Yeah, but there was billions of dollars of stuff there, and they only got 2 reliable people that could keep quiet in the whole planet.
Yeah,
No. They could have got a couple more people.
a couple more people.
They could have got 6 people.
I'll be honest. If I was sitting there on my own to do a job, I'd probably just do the job. If I was sitting there with 5 other people
I don't know, I mean,
and a
space apart.
and a way to distill vodka, probably not going to get much done.
Okay, fair enough.
Also, if there's 6 other people on my side, probably not going to fall in love with the one person over the other side, are you? So that would kind of kill the film.
Yeah, but the job would have got done.
The job would have got done.
Yeah, I thought that was what they wanted.
Anyway.
What's next?
Dislike.
Yeah.
The bit you dislike the most,
the
I'd
bit
go
I
with.
dislike the most.
Do you want me to go first?
You go first.
You know when they're in that church thing down in the gorge,
I do.
and you get them spiders,
Yeah.
which are skulls with legs?
Yeah.
That. Fucking stupid. That's it.
What bit about that?
I just didn't like it.
That's the kind. I actually probably coming with you there, because that's when I was thinking, oh, this is just a bit much.
It could have been like rodents. It could have been insects. Could have been spiders. But the fact that it was skulls with legs, it was just like, oh, it just doesn't.
But then, what about later on when you see the entanglement of the fully gone? I don't really know what was going on.
That
but
thing where it's all like,
Yeah.
that was fine. I
That's
could
a bit
have
more far fetched than the skull
because
bit.
they were just skulls with legs. Like, so the whole thing with a skull is no living tissue left. It's dead. But at least the Hollow Men had like eyes and mouths and like I don't know.
Many
Yeah,
4 eyes.
The skulls with legs was a bit. I just thought it was just shit. But it didn't lose me. I was like, okay. I did like the fact that the skull things attacked the Hollow Men and them and just anything. They're just like they were just
because they're just heads, basically.
Yeah.
I would probably say, in my dislikes, it would be, I wouldn't say a specific point, but around that area as well, is where I was starting to be a little, am I going to like this or not? And it kind of took me out of it a bit, but then it brought me back when it kept moving forward with like why, because I thought when they got down there, we weren't going to explain anything, just a load of stuff, then, you know.
Yeah, like, because I was
just
really like,
just a cliffhanger.
because they talked about being like a hellmouth and stuff, and I was like, oh god, don't do that, because there's no explanation then. Oh, demons and that. But I quite like the explanation. It was they had the earthquake and stuff, and that's fine. And then obviously this company is just using that to create biological weapons and.
Well, they did a fantastic job so far.
Of course, always do a fantastic job, and I like the fact that then I was like, okay, that's enough of this now.
So it is quite Resident Evil-y, really.
Yeah.
And it's not quite the same because they're a bit more bloodthirsty in Resident Evil and all that. But it's basically a company developing biological weapons, goes wrong, contains it. Resident Evil kind of story.
Yeah.
But with Big Gorge. Or Big Hole, as well.
Yeah. There's lots of stories that are similar. But I liked how they got out of there and then it kind of went back to being espionage when they're like, well, we need to, one, get rid of this, show people what's going on, and two, like, get out of here. Because they saw that some of the people down there were people that would pass, kept the watchtower, and you can put two and two together and go, well, see, they don't want us to get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, that bloke they picked up on the helicopter, that's the first one.
Yeah, he's from like Gangs of London or something like that. He was a really good character.
Why did they even go and pick him up? Why did they let him get on the rope if they're going to shoot? Why don't they just shoot him?
I have a theory, actually.
Oh, because I was like, it's just a bit harsh. You're going to just kill him anyway.
Why
make him think he was getting rescued?
Make him think he's getting rescued. They pick him up and then fly him back over the gorge where you're going to drop him.
Oh, so he falls back in.
He falls back into it, so then it's
yeah,
kept
fair
secret.
enough, yeah.
So you don't want him killing just there and then. You want to flush it away. Plot holes. Did you notice any plot holes?
The only plot hole that I really caught onto was the bomb going off.
Okay.
I just didn't get how the bomb went off.
Right, so they explain that in the film.
No, they did. I missed it. That's what I'm saying. Because, like, from my perspective, like, they coming to get them, but then all of a sudden he was halfway out the woods and the bomb went off. I was like, who set the bomb off?
That was the whole point of them. You remember they were talking about their longest distance shots?
Yeah.
And their cloaking devices, so no one knows that place is there. And then if it's found, it'll destroy itself, so there's no evidence.
If the cloaks go off.
Yeah, if the cloaks are gone.
Yeah, so that's what I assumed triggered it, but
so
I was just like...
They got as far away as they could, while still being able to shoot the things to blow up and set that... You know, they're walking with a...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, they didn't mess about, did they? They blew up, and for some reason they exploded.
Because they planted bombs.
Plant bombs
on the cloaks. You know, they're walking along with the wires, they're looking at each other, they're smiling.
I missed that bit. But then, like, the rate at which the bomb goes off to destroy the whole gorge is like, they ain't messing about. Like, that thing goes off, you need to be out of there.
Yeah, that's quite
well, no one finding that.
Significant point, which is why they knew they had to take the shot from like 3 and a bit kilometres away, so that's 3.8, and then run as far away as they could.
Yeah, it makes sense. That is kind of what I thought happened. I must have zoned out a bit during that.
So my plot hole.
Is it going to be the Jeep going up the mountain?
I can live with that.
Oh, okay, let's go with your plot.
Jeep going up the mountain, that's not too bad. No, it's going up the mountain, cool. Yeah, it's all working. Them ropes they can take some weight. Great, cool. All of that going on. Then they cut it and then they climb up the rest of the gorge on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why when the Hollow Men climb up the gorge do the sentry guns shoot them, but when them two climb up the gorge, nothing happens?
Because they were too far up.
What?
Well, because they
then they would have shot the Jeep when it was going up. Like, it would have shot. The sentry guns would have targeted the movement and shot them.
Yeah, probably.
That's the only plot.
Unless
only one I need to bring up.
It's like Hollow, unless it knows how to target Hollow Men.
No, they said it was set up in like end of World War II. So it's none of it was like
a whole one
fancy.
What, any others? That's
good.
I mean, I didn't even think about that. I feel like this is the thing about a movie like this when it gets so fictiony down at the bottom bit. It's like I stopped trying to, because when we were at the top, I was really paying attention. I was like, this seems like it's going to be based in like a reality or something. But when they got to the bottom, it went so far to skulls going. I'm just going to watch it and just go through the experience. So I stopped trying to make sense of it.
Plot hole again. This is the thing. The plot hole didn't ruin it for me. Again, I was like, okay, fair enough, whatever. Maybe when all that stuff was going on, all the ammo got used up, and because he fell on the gorge, he didn't replace it.
You did see when they did it the first time, they struck him the first time, they had to go back down and reset everything manually. And he went over, so that he wouldn't have known because he fell, so he wouldn't have known he was going down. Yeah, seems like a genuine plot hole there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Plot hole in the hole.
There's just too many holes. Okay, let's just jump to it. What did you think of the film? Because it sounds like we've slagged it off a bit. What did you think of the film?
I overall,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bear in mind, you gave Elevation a 6 out of 10.
I preferred Elevation to this movie if I'd
Holy
watched it again.
Shit.
If I'd watched it again, I'd
Sorry.
watch Elevation.
Really?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. This one, the first half was considerably better than Elevation, but the second half I thought was nowhere near as good because it was just too OTT.
No, the worst part of this film was still better than Elevation.
Why was Elevation so bad?
Because it just made no sense. It was all pointless. I know you're going to say, well, this film was all pointless.
Okay, but let's just move on. Stay with this film as we'll be going back and forth between films. So this film, I would probably give it a 5.8. Because, like, I wouldn't go out... No, if I think about it, out of the films we've reviewed lately, the standard hasn't been exactly super high. We've done 3. Yeah, but that's been 3 weeks worth of movies we've been watching. The standard's not been super high. It's not like we've been watching classic greats. So, this film, though, if I was out recommending it to people, would I be like, you have to watch this movie? But no. I was like, but
no, but you class it lower than Elevation.
If you want to watch it, yeah, but that doesn't really matter. I'm reviewing this movie.
Okay.
We did Elevation last week.
Okay, no, you're right. Fair enough.
Would I recommend Elevation to some people? Yeah, probably. I wouldn't say it's great, but I would say, yeah, watch this one. I think it would lose a lot more people watching it when it gets down the bottom of the gorge. I think a lot of people like it when at the top. But at the bottom, I think it's so like science fiction-y, it would lose a lot of people. So I think if you like this kind of fiction, which I do, like I would watch it and I'd enjoy it, but I think a lot of people just wouldn't. Just seemed a bit cheap at the bottom. It's still good, but I just think it could have been less cheap. It was quite cheap. Like you even said yourself, the skull heads and all that sort of stuff, and then things just not making sense.
The skull heads, yeah.
Sigourney Weaver was in it, but for like 15 seconds.
I was a bit like when she's like, I'm going to sort it out myself, I'll kill him myself. And I was like, oh yeah, go on, love. And then she died.
I liked it, but on the basis that I wouldn't strongly recommend it to other people, I would give it 5.8.
I'd give it a 6.5.
Yes, that's not exactly miles away from what I
No,
said.
but you gave Elevation a 6.
What's that got to do with anything?
I just don't understand your thought process. The quality of this film was so high. The acting was better. Miles Teller was really, I believed his character. Okay, way more. So he has way more range.
If we're going to have to compare the two films, Miles Teller's a better actor, and the other girl is as well. So the acting was slightly better, but the acting wasn't bad. Like in my review of that, I said like he held the film, and I still think
he did hold
that.
the film. Yeah.
So acting, I'd put on about a par. The story, the one in the other in Elevation was like just a bit more new. This one I've seen like 100 times.
I thought you were going to say a bit more believable.
No, just new. It's just a bit more different, and it had a bit like I said, I didn't like the end of the movie, but I liked 75% of it. This film, I liked 50% of, as overall. Personal opinion.
See, I would have said I liked 80% of this film, with that 20% down the bottom. Like I didn't mind all of it except for the skull.
Just point out that a 5, like I would call just a perfectly average movie. I'm not saying I didn't like it.
Yeah, I know that.
And then my point about the 2 is that I can only compare Elevation against movies that are like Elevation, and Elevation in this movie is not like but Quiet Place would be a better movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't give it the same, but this movie is not the same. If I was to
compare this to Resident Evil.
I would compare it to Resident Evil.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Compare it to Resident Evil. Where do you put Resident Evil on this scale of 1 to 10?
The remake or the original? Both I liked more than this movie by a considerable amount. Guilty pleasure. First one, with Mila Jovovich, or however you say her name, sorry, is a guilty pleasure. I'm not saying it's a good movie at all, but it's a guilty pleasure movie. It's like a movie you watch and you can think of the game and go, oh, there's that bit, there's that thing, and it's got a lot of relatability to it, and it's got a following, it's got a cult, it's got people that like it, it's got a history. This movie's just like, I have nothing to connect to with it. It's just like, there's a guy that's got like some stick head and a few extra eyes that looks like from the Pirates of the Caribbean. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like Resident Evil's like this much better. I just say if I had to watch one or the other, because I know everything about Resident Evil and I know the history and it's a guilty pleasure movie, I'd watch that. I'm not saying it's like, oh yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. No way. I'm just saying I'd rather watch that than this.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'm not saying I didn't like this one. I just wouldn't recommend it to the general movie-going audience. Like if you had to say, out of the last 5 movies you'd recommend, what would you recommend to a random everyday person? I wouldn't pick this movie because I just think, but it's good. If you like fiction and stories, then a lot of people would probably take to this more. I don't know.
Okay. No.
How about you give your opinion now?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, Resident Evil. Yeah. Again, I mean, I'm a massive geek. I played all the games. Resident Evil 2, probably the best Resident Evil ever made. And then you got the remake. Actually, I quite enjoyed the remake until the end. Compared to this was like a one-off. So the reason you like Resident Evil is because there's the backing that you know, but the general public most likely wouldn't know that all the backstory, the Raccoon City, the Umbrella Corporation.
But if they was going to watch a movie like this, I think they would. I don't think you'd pick the movie, would you? Like,
I mean, Mila's just done that Monster Hunter thing.
No, yeah, that was, or
whatever it is.
Let's not repeat that.
Right. I haven't played any of those. I'm going to watch that movie.
Oh, don't watch that movie. don't watch that movie.
Okay, so I would say 6.5, maybe even a 6.8.
Can't you put it up now because you're annoyed at me? You just putting his score up because you didn't like my score. And I didn't.
This is not having last week. You said the score. I was like,
I'm sorry, but if you want to be a reputable channel, you can't say this movie was anything higher than what we've given it, or what you've given it, because it just isn't.
Okay, 6.5. I'm sticking with 6.5.
The actors are super quality actors, but they're not super quality acting in the movie. They're doing better than if you was to put like if you put a lot like these, you get like a lot of these B grade movie actors in there. They put in these kind of movies. The actors made it a lot better, and the actors were really good in it, but there wasn't much, you say about the range, there wasn't much range to have in the movie. Because after the point where they were in the pit, and like I said, when at the top, I really liked it. There was a dynamic, there was characters building, there was speaking to each other, there was a romance. But when they're in the bottom, it was just a generic running away, I'm scared, I've got to get back out the bloody hole. There's not much range down there, is it? How can you, like... The gun didn't shoot. Even you said the gun didn't shoot him.
Like, the gun didn't shoot them. Okay.
I'm going to be quiet.
So you said 5.8, I said 6.5. Should we go somewhere in the middle, say 6.2?
Yeah, 6.1 sounds good.
6.1. I knew you'd do this.
We can't rate it higher than 6.1. I tell you what we should do is have a vote at the bottom about who scores more right.
Yeah, just
in general.
Yeah. If you have watched this review...
Hundreds of people have watched it already. 6.1, I would say, for this movie.
Just say...
5 is average, right?
Yeah.
6 is better than average.
Yeah.
And then you're putting a 1 on it as well.
Or the 0.1.
0.1.
Leave a comment or something about where you'd rate this out of 10. Only if you've watched it. Don't be a douche. Right. That's it. Done. That's another one done.